If you've ever asked yourself, why do so many people fail at making money online? I'm going to give you the real reason. And it's not because they aren't smart enough, it's because they commit too early before they have proof. In this video, I'm going to show you what finally worked for me after 6 failed attempts. And fair warning, the answer is not sexy. It's simple, it's practical, and if you've been spinning your wheels, it might be exactly what you need to hear. So before we get into it, quick heads up. If you're building something on nights and weekends and you want step-by-step guidance that helps you make progress without living on social media, hit subscribe and turn on notifications, because when you're building on the side, you don't have time to hunt for advice every week. You need the next right step when you sit down to work. All right, now let's talk about why people fail. And I can say this with 100% confidence because I'm not speaking from theory, I'm speaking from experience. I tried to make money online so many times, 6 times to be exact, and none of them worked. Here's the quick rundown for you. I tried to launch a marketing consultancy. I tried to do a craft blog that I could monetize. I tried to do a midlife brand called Suddenly 42. I tried to launch a brand for grandparents, things I know now that have changed since we raised our kids, and how to spend quality time with your grandchildren. I even tried a boutique children's clothing company. And yes, I tried an AI channel. Now, different ideas, same outcome. Nothing stuck. And if you've tried a bunch of things and you're starting to feel like maybe you're just not cut out for this, I want you to hear me on this. It's usually not that you can't do this. It's that the steps are out of order. What finally worked wasn't what I expected. It was helping a former version of myself. Now, I want to be really clear about this. You do not have to serve a former version of yourself to be successful. That's just how it happened for me. The actual lesson is this. I stopped guessing and I started listening. And the moment I did that, everything changed. Not overnight or by some mystical transformation, but I finally had traction because I wasn't building in a vacuum anymore. So let me walk you through the 3 traps that kept me stuck, because there's a good chance you're stuck in one of these too. Now, trap number 1 is trying to be unique and original. I thought the idea had to be clever, different, fresh, like I had to invent something no one had ever seen before. And I know exactly why people do this, because deep down, it feels safer to believe your problem is the idea. Because if the idea is the problem, you can stay in idea mode forever. You can brainstorm, you can plan, research, you can save posts, you can watch videos, you can keep getting ready. But if the problem is in the execution, that's uncomfortable, because execution means selling something. Execution means letting it be simple and letting people see it and possibly not love it. Trap number 2 is overbuilding. Now, I overbuilt everything. I made things bigger than they needed to be. I created complicated plans. I tried to build a whole brand before I built one useful thing to offer. And let's be honest, overbuilding is just procrastination with better lighting. Trap number 3, unclear offers. This was my biggest issue, because when your offer is unclear, you don't know what you're selling. If you don't know what you're selling, you don't know what to say. If you don't know what to say, you don't know what to post. And if you don't post, you don't get feedback. If you don't get feedback, you'll never get clarity. And then you go right back into research mode. Unclear offer equals endless planning. And endless planning feels productive, but it doesn't produce results. So those were my 3 traps. Trying to be original, overbuilding, fuzzy offer. Now, here's the shift. For years, I tried to launch on Instagram, and I'm not here to hate on Instagram. I'm on there every day, trust me. But for me, it was like talking into a void. No real feedback, no real signal, just posting and hoping for any sign of life on the other end. And then I tried YouTube, even though I was absolutely terrified of being on camera. And for the first time, I wasn't just broadcasting. I was having a 2-way conversation. I made one video, my first video. It was about email marketing. And almost immediately, Someone commented with a real question. They wanted to learn, they wanted help. And that was the moment that I realized something that sounds obvious, but most people ignore it. People will tell you what they need if you listen. And once I had that signal, my first offer that truly worked was my shortcut to selling your first digital product because I wasn't trying to invent demand. I wasn't trying to be clever. I was building a clear solution for a clear person in a relatable situation. And if you're building on the side, this matters even more because you do not have unlimited time to guess. You need feedback loops. You need proof. You need to know you're building the right thing before you spend weeks on it. All right, quick pause because this will help. If you're sitting there thinking, okay, but I still don't know what to sell, I have a free resource that helps you get unstuck and stop overthinking. It's called 10 Digital Products That You Can Create This Weekend. It's simple. It gives you a list of starter product types that don't require you to build a whole course or a whole brand. And it's designed for people who are building on nights and weekends, just like me. You want to grab that freebie first and then come back to this video because it will make the next part easier to apply. Okay, now let's get practical because know your audience is true, but it's also where I see people nod and then do nothing. So I want to show you what clarity looks like by using real examples. Okay, here's a vague idea. I help women over 40 learn pickleball. Okay, that's not terrible, but it's not clear. Look at this version. This is a better version of that. I help women who have been inactive for years get motivated to exercise again by introducing them to pickleball, a low-impact way to move your body and actually enjoy it. Do you feel the difference? The first one is a category, and the second one is a situation. Here's another example. Vague, I teach people how to grow a flower garden. Better, I help beginner gardeners in Zone 8 start a low-maintenance perennial garden that comes back every year. Same topic, completely different clarity. The better version tells you who it's for, what outcome they want, and the context that makes it specific. That's what you need to focus on. Not a brand, not a logo, not a clever name. You need to focus on that kind of clarity. So here are 3 things you can do this week to stop guessing and get clear. Step 1, stop describing your audience like a demographic and start describing them like a real person in a real moment. Instead of women over 40, tell me, are they inactive and embarrassed to start again? Are they overwhelmed and need a simple plan? Are they motivated but they don't know the order of operations? Your audience description should include the situation they're in because the situation is what creates the urgency. Step 2, pick an audience you have real access to. And what I mean by access to is you are them, you were them, you work with them, you serve them at your job, you volunteer with them, you see their questions come up over and over again. Because when you truly understand someone, you stop guessing at what they need. You already know what they struggle with. You already know what they keep putting off. You already know what they wish someone would just explain to them. And step 3, build the smallest, clear solution that solves one moment, not a lifestyle change, not a complete identity shift, but one moment, one decision, one outcome that they can finish in one sitting. Because the easiest thing to sell is the thing someone can actually finish. And if you want help doing that part, that's exactly what my shortcut is for. It's not a giant course. It's not a complicated system. It's a quick win product designed to help you build and sell your first digital product without overbuilding and without getting lost in planning mode. Now, if you want my step-by-step process, you can grab the shortcut to selling your first digital product. It's built for beginners. It's built for people doing this on nights and weekends, and it's built to help you stop circling the same idea for 6 months. Now, let's bring this back to the big question. Why do people fail at making money online? Because they chase clever instead of building something useful. And in a moment, I'm going to share the one thing I wish I'd known earlier, because if I had understood this sooner, I would have saved myself years of spinning. But first, quick recap. If you're stuck, it's usually one of these. You're either trying to be original, you're overbuilding, or your offer is fuzzy. Now, here's the one thing I wish I'd known earlier. You don't need a new idea. You need to package what you already know for someone who already needs it. That's it. That's the whole game. You do not have to search for something to offer people. Look at what you already know. Look at what you've already learned in your life. And if you can identify who benefits from that knowledge, you now have an audience and a product. And once you build and deliver one thing, the people will tell you what they need next. That's how this becomes a chain reaction. That's how the business grows without you reinventing yourself every month. Now, I want to hear from you, and I respond to comments. So this is not a leave a comment and disappear situation. So you can comment 1, 2, or 3. Where did you get stuck? Trying to be original, overbuilding, or fuzzy offer? Which trap got you? Just drop the number in the comments. And next, I want you to watch this video right here. Choose a digital product niche without the guesswork, because it will help you stop guessing and start validating your idea before you spend weeks building the wrong thing. If you've tried a bunch of times and it hasn't worked yet, you're not failing. You're collecting data. Now use that data. Stop trying to invent the perfect idea and start packaging what you already know for someone who already needs it. All right? Here's to your success, and I'll see you next week.